Go crazy, Arizona State University. We are down here on the field at Sun Devil Stadium. Welcome into another edition of the Director's Cut presented by BlazeRadioOnline.com. I'm Weston DeWitt, joined alongside Assistant Directors Eliav Gabay, Braiden, Bell, and Chris Cadeau. Well, I don't think any of us here would be expecting to talk about an upset here tonight, guys. Arizona State upset the number 5 ranked team in the country, the Washington Huskies, 13-7. Eliav, what stood out to you in this game?
To me, it has to be the defensive line. I mean, they got to the quarterback 5 times, 5 sacks for a loss of 45 yards. We've never seen the D-line this hungry, and that's the main thing that stood out to me.
Braiden, obviously what we just mentioned, the sacks was one thing that stood out, but another thing was the tackling. Other than that, what else stood out on the defensive side of the football tonight?
So obviously getting pressure, like Eliav said, on Jake Browning was huge. But the thing that I really noticed, like you mentioned, it was the tackling in the secondary. A lot of short drop passes, you know, that Browning and the Huskies tried to have in the second half. And it was the tackling of guys like Chase Lucas in the secondary that really stood out to me. The linebackers were fantastic. And that's the difference, because this defense has really struggled tackling early on. Tonight they were flawless.
Chris, you called the game. You saw the angle better than anybody else here tonight. Great job calling the game tonight, by the way. So Jake Browning, very disappointing night for him and as a whole for Washington. Quite simply, what went wrong for them?
Arizona State had a game plan, and they stuck to it. Coach Todd Graham in the press conference talked about recruiting a certain system, and then you bring in a new offensive coordinator, a new defensive coordinator, and you expect them to coach to a system that they brought in, even though that's not their style. He said their coaching staff was adaptable. This is a team that's been adaptable, and that's how you knock off the number 5 team in the country. You become adaptable and you attack at all points of the game, and that's what they did.
Eliav, Manny Wilkins had a great game here tonight. He actually got some protection here tonight and was able to be mobile in the pocket. What stood out to you from Manny Wilkins tonight?
Well, just what Chris said, he was adaptable. He was creative. More beyond the numbers where he had 245 yards, he knew what to do when things got tight, and I didn't trust anyone else more than Manny Wilkins if I'm ASU with the ball in those moments where, okay, it gets a little shaky. UW got a touchdown down the stretch there. He took care of business, and being cool, calm, and collected in the pocket in that situation also impressed me.
You know, let me add on to that as well. This game needs to be also awarded to the offensive line.
Yes.
Because like you mentioned, he had time. And this is quite possibly the best defensive line in the Pac-12.
Yeah.
Probably 2 first-round draft picks on this defensive line. And Arizona State owned the line of scrimmage on offense and defense all night long.
So one of the things that's been debated over the last few days, last few weeks actually, has been Todd Graham's future here at Arizona State. There's no doubt with this win, there's going to be a lot of rumors swelling all around the state of Arizona. Quite simply, guys, what does this win do for his future here at Arizona State? Braiden, we'll start with you.
Well, just being in the press conference just moments ago, you could honestly feel the relief in Todd Graham's voice. This is the biggest win of his tenure.
Yeah.
And I think that's fair to say. Before it was Notre Dame. This is their first win against a top 5 opponent since 1996.
Wow.
Pat Tillman was on that team.
Wow.
So it's a huge win, obviously, for him. Short term, works wonders. We'll see how the rest of the season plays out, but no doubt, this is one of the biggest wins in school history. There's no doubt about it.
Eliav, what do you think?
I'm going to say this. I don't think we can say too much about the future just yet because there's a lot more season left.
Give us a bold prediction. Come on.
No. I will. What I will say is this team needs to show some consistency if he wants a chance to keep his job next season. I mean, we've seen a team like this that comes out and beats number 5 UW, and then we've seen a team that gets smacked by Stanford. So it's, you know, you got to find some consistency, number 1.
Chris, what do you think?
Eliav said consistency. With consistency, this win becomes program defining.
Yes.
Without consistency, just becomes another win. Todd Graham said after the game, he took the game ball and gave it to Dr. Crow, president of Arizona State University. And a lot of us are laughing because Dr. Crow is very vocal via social media about his displeasure with the direction that this football team is going. Wins like tonight become program defining with consistency. Todd Graham has a safe seat for now.
Well, there you have it. Arizona State pulls the upset 13-7 over the University of Washington Huskies here at Sun Devil Stadium here tonight. Good to have all 4 directors here in the Director's Cut, gentlemen. For Weston DeWitt, Eliav Gabay, Braiden, Bell, and Chris Cadeau, this has been the Director's Cut, presented by BlazeRadioOnline.com.